There is a narrow strip of land where the Atlantic and Pacific almost touch. For centuries, ships moving between the two oceans had to sail thousands of extra miles around South America. Then Panama changed the map. The Panama Canal became one of the most valuable shortcuts on Earth, a passage so important that empires wanted it, armies protected it, and global trade still depends on it today. But Panama's power does not come from size, it comes from geography. Before the canal existed, trade was slower, riskier, and more expensive. A ship traveling from New York to San Francisco had to sail around Cape Horn, one of the most dangerous routes in the world. The idea of cutting through Central America was obvious. Building it was not. The French tried first, but Panama defeated them. Jungle, disease, rain, landslides, and engineering failure destroyed the project. Then the United States stepped in. In the early 1900s, America backed Panama's separation from Colombia, gained control over the Canal Zone, and began one of the most ambitious construction projects in history. In 1914, the Panama Canal opened. It did not just connect two oceans, it rewired global trade. But the canal is not simply a trench through land, it is a system of locks. Ships enter giant chambers. Gates close. Fresh water flows in. The ship rises. Then it crosses Panama through artificial lakes and channels before being lowered back down on the other side. It is basically a water-powered elevator for ships. That design is brilliant, but it also creates the canal's biggest weakness. Every ship transit depends on fresh water from Panama's lakes and rainfall. So the canal is not just an engineering system. It is a climate system. For decades, the canal was heavily controlled by the United States. To America, it was military and commercial power. It allowed the U.S. Navy to move between oceans and gave Washington influence over one of the world's most important trade routes. But to Panama, it was a question of sovereignty. The canal passed through Panamanian land, but Panama did not fully control it. After decades of pressure and negotiation, the United States handed the canal to Panama on December 31, 1999. From that moment, Panama was no longer just the country the canal passed through. It became the country that controlled the shortcut. Today, that shortcut gives Panama unusual power. Global trade hates distance. Every extra mile means more fuel, more time, more risk, and more cost. The canal helps ships avoid long journeys around South America, especially for trade connected to the United States, Latin America, and Asia. That makes Panama a gatekeeper, not because it has the largest army, not because it has the biggest economy, but because geography placed it at one of the most useful points on Earth. And choke points create leverage. If the canal slows down, companies feel it. If transit limits are reduced, shipping schedules change. If drought lowers water levels, fewer ships can pass. That is why recent droughts mattered so much. They showed that the Panama Canal is powerful, but not invincible. Its future depends on water. A shortcut built to overcome geography is now being tested by climate. So Panama controls one of the world's most important shortcuts because history, engineering, and geography all converged in one narrow place. But the bigger question is, what happens next? In a world of rising trade pressure, fragile supply chains, and increasing drought risk, how long can one narrow passage keep carrying so much of the world?